Okay, so in life, some things are harder and some things are easier. Here is a cubic equation. Trying to solve this cubic equation is harder. Chances are you don't have a Scooby-Doo what to do about that, and neither do I really straight away. This one, on the other hand, is really easy. Okay, this is super easy to solve. Why? Well, for example, let's suppose that x equals -1. Well, then this is true because see, -1 add 1 is 0. If that whole bracket is 0, then when I times it out, 0 times something, the answer is always going to be 0. Similarly, another solution would be x equals -2, because then this bracket is 0, 0 times some stuff is 0. And similarly, if x equals +3, then basically when I sub in 3 in here, I'm going to get like 5 and 4, 4 times 5 times 0, which is 0. So what have we found out, right? When I substitute in the number, I should get the answer 0. That's what solving is, right? So if I want to solve this equation, I could go ahead and use what I would call the lucky guess method. And it's basically the only method that you can start this off with. Okay, so let's try the lucky guess method. Let's try an easy number like 0. If x is 0, I've got nothing, minus 0, minus 6, and that is not the same as 0. That doesn't work. Okay, let's try x equals 1, shall we? So when I type in x equals 1, so at x equals 0, I get a remainder, I get something left over of -6. Let's try a new one. Let's try x equals 1. Just picking easy numbers, guys. So putting in 1, what do I get? I've got 1 cubed, which is 1. Take away 7 times 1, which is 7. Take away 6. So 1, take away 7, take away 6, and I get to -12. Okay, so this is what I would call the remainder that's left over when I sub in 1, and unfortunately it hasn't worked. I haven't got the 0 answer I was looking for. Let's try something else. Let's try x equals -1. Let's substitute -1. So -1 cubed, take away 7 times -1, take away 6. Well, -1 cubed is minus times a minus times a minus. So two minuses make a plus, plus times minus makes a minus, and that's -1 plus 7, minus times minus makes plus, take away 6, and that equals 0. Bingo, right? Therefore, so these three little dots mean therefore, okay, x plus 1 is a factor, therefore x equals -1 is a solution. Now this bit probably makes immediately sense, right? If I put in -1, I get the answer I wanted. It's a solution, okay? Another way of writing it is you could say x equals -1 is a root. That means the same thing. This is something that is a very, very important observation, okay? If I put in -1 and I get the answer 0, that means I must, somewhere in this polynomial, in this expression, the x plus 1 term has to fit in there. Because see, the only way that you can get the answer 0 when x is -1 is to add 1 to that value. Okay? That's the only way. You can't times it by anything to get 0. You've got to add 1 to it to get 0. So this has got to somehow be inside this function here. Okay, I've got 1. It's a cubic, x cubed, that's the highest power, so there'll be 3 solutions. If there was a power of x power of 10, there'd be 10 solutions. Okay, so let's try some more. At x equals 2, what happens? I've got 2 cubed. Take away 7 times 2, take away 6, so that 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, minus 14, minus 6, and that's like -12. So I've got a remainder, -12, when I'm trying to put in x equals 2. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try x equals -2. what am I going to get? Negative 2 cubed, take away 7 times negative 2, take away 6. So negative 8 plus 14, take away 6. Oh, that's a good one. That works. Okay, that one works. Okay, that gives me 0. So therefore, what do I know? I know x equals negative 2 is a root. So I've got one answer, two answers. And that also means that x plus 2 is a factor. So basically, this equation that I started with, it's built up from x plus 1 and x plus 2 as two of its factors. So what I could do is I could now kind of start thinking and go, okay, right, I've got x plus 1 and I've got x plus 2. And what has that given me so far? So expand that out and I've got x squared plus x plus 2x plus 2, which is x squared plus 3x plus 2. So far, I need to times this by something else. So x squared plus 3x plus 2 times by something else. And I need to get my original equation that I started with, which was here, x cubed minus 7x minus 6. So equals x cubed minus 7x, try again, minus 6. The easiest way to do this is to look at the numbers at the end. X squared times what makes x cubed? I've got to have an x. 2 times what makes negative 6? It's got to have to be x minus 3. Okay, so if I wanted to fully factorize this equation that I started with, which was here, if I wanted to fully factorize this by the lucky guess method, what I could do is keep guessing until I've got at least 2 of the factors, and either keep guessing until you get the third one, or you can see what you've got so far and use a bit of kind of clever stuff to figure out, right, what do I need to times by to get the answer that I wanted that was the question. And what you'll found out is that actually these two starting points are exactly the same equation. This and this and this are the 3 factors that go into it. So I can fully factorize this, which is basically the same thing as finding all 3 of its solutions.